On October 7, 2023, Hamas, the militant group that governed Gaza and had long received Iranian funding, training, and weapons, launched the deadliest attack on Jewish people since the Holocaust. Over 1,200 people were killed inside Israel, most of them civilians. Around 250 were taken hostage. Iran publicly praised the attack. Israel launched a military campaign in Gaza that would last more than a year. But the war rapidly expanded beyond Gaza's borders. Hezbollah in Lebanon began firing rockets into northern Israel almost immediately. Iranian-aligned Houthi rebels in Yemen launched attacks on Israeli territory and international shipping in the Red Sea. Iranian-linked militias in Iraq and Syria attacked American military positions more than 200 times. The decades-long proxy war was tightening, drawing the region toward direct confrontation. On April 1, 2024, Israel bombed the Iranian consulate complex in Damascus, Syria, killing 2 Iranian generals and 5 military advisors. It was a direct strike on an Iranian diplomatic facility, a highly provocative act. Iran's response was unprecedented. On April 13 and 14, 2024, Iran launched a direct attack on Israeli territory for the first time in history, firing more than 300 drones and ballistic missiles toward Israel. A U.S.-led coalition involving the United Kingdom, France, and Jordan helped Israel intercept the vast majority of them. Damage inside Israel was minimal. Israel carried out a limited retaliatory strike on April 19, targeting Iranian air defense systems near the city of Isfahan. Both sides chose restraint, for now. Then, in the summer of 2024, Israel accelerated a campaign to dismantle Iran's network of allies. In July, Hamas's political leader, Ismail Haniyeh, was assassinated in Tehran, in the Iranian capital itself, a humiliating security failure for the Islamic Republic. In September, Hezbollah's longtime leader, Hassan Nasrallah, the most powerful figure in Iran's axis of resistance, was killed in a massive Israeli airstrike in Beirut, Lebanon. It was a seismic blow to Iranian regional strategy. Iran launched a second barrage of 180 to 200 ballistic missiles at Israel in October 2024. Israel responded with its most extensive direct attack on Iran to date, striking air defense systems and missile production facilities. The strikes destroyed most of Iran's Russian-supplied S-300 defense systems, leaving Iranian skies significantly more vulnerable. By early 2025, Iran's position had weakened significantly. Its main proxy allies, Hezbollah and Hamas, had been devastated. Its air defenses had been degraded. Its nuclear program was advancing, but so was international pressure. On June 13, 2025, Israel launched a surprise, large-scale operation against Iran, targeting nuclear facilities, military command infrastructure, air defense systems, and energy sites. The opening hours saw the killing of Iran's top military leaders, including the head of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, Hossein Salami, and the Chief of Staff of Iran's armed forces, Mohammad Bagheri. Multiple leading nuclear scientists were also killed. Iran retaliated with over 550 ballistic missiles and more than 1,000 drones targeting Israeli cities and military sites. Some struck apartment buildings, a hospital, and government facilities. Israel's Arrow, David's Sling, and Iron Dome defense systems, supported by the United States, intercepted the majority. On June 22, 2025, the United States itself entered the conflict offensively, bombing 3 of Iran's most hardened nuclear sites at Natanz, Isfahan, and Fordow. The strikes were ones Israel had been unable to execute alone, given the depth and fortification of the facilities. Iran responded by firing missiles at a U.S. military base in Qatar. The Houthi rebels in Yemen called the American strikes a declaration of war and launched further attacks on Israeli territory. After 12 days of direct military confrontation, the United States brokered a ceasefire on June 24, 2025. The war ended, but it had fundamentally altered the strategic landscape of the Middle East. The human cost of the 12-day war was significant. Iran's total death toll was estimated between 1,060 and 1,190, with thousands more wounded and tens of thousands displaced. Israel also suffered civilian casualties. Iranian missiles struck residential buildings, a research center, and a hospital. Nuclear facilities at Natanz, Isfahan, and Fordow sustained extensive damage. The IAEA reported that prior to the war, Iran had stockpiled enough enriched uranium to theoretically produce 9 nuclear warheads. Iran suspended all cooperation with the IAEA following the strikes, accusing the agency of sharing facility and scientist information with Israel. The war drew widespread international condemnation from most Arab and Muslim-majority nations, from Russia, Brazil, Japan, and South Africa. The United Nations called for a diplomatic solution. Several legal scholars characterized the Israeli strikes as violations of international law. Others, including the United States and Germany, argued the strikes were justified to prevent nuclear proliferation. The story of Iran and Israel is not simply a story about two governments. It is a story about how history, ideology, religion, and fear can transform friendship into enmity, and how ancient civilizations can become locked in a struggle that neither fully controls. Iran and Israel share more than conflict. Persians and Jews are two of history's oldest peoples. The Old Testament honors Cyrus the Great, the Persian king who freed the Jewish people from Babylonian captivity in 539 BC. For centuries, Jewish communities flourished within Persian civilization. That ancient coexistence is not erased by modern conflict, even if it is today very far away. As of early 2026, the conflict continues, with ongoing strikes, political instability inside Iran, and the unresolved nuclear question still looming over the region. The ceasefire of June 2025 did not bring peace. It brought only a pause. What comes next depends on choices that have not yet been made, by governments, by international institutions, and by people in both countries who did not choose this conflict and do not fully control it. History is not destiny, but it carries great weight.